Welcome to From Death to Life podcast. This is Carrie. I'm here with Mario. This is episode 20. And today we're going to be talking about how you know when you need to get help. So we're going to get to that in a minute. I want to talk about the framework for this podcast, at least for this season. I'd like it to go like this. What do you think, Mario? Say hello to our friends.
Hello,
Are
friends.
you okay if I frame this in a certain way? I like a
Sure.
plan. I like a plan.
Let's hear it first. Go.
Mario is very he's a fly by the seat of his pants kind of guy. I'm in a planner. So it's like we need a plan. And so this is the way I'd like to frame this. So I want to base it on the intro on this quote. This is a quote I love from Frederick Buechner. He said, "Here is the world. Beautiful and terrible things will happen. Do not be afraid." What do you think about that, Mar? What are your thoughts?
I love it, but
All right.
it's
Pause.
it is definitely a difficult thing to implement. I mean, because life is hugely about dealing with fear and anxiety and hopelessness.
What if we didn't have to be afraid?
Then that would be the most beautiful.
What if we don't have to be afraid? What if there's nothing to fear? What
That'd be pretty awesome.
can we live like that? But I love this because it reminded me of another quote. You know, I love to read and I love quotes. This really famous quote from the book, The Road Less Traveled. He says, "Life is difficult. This is a great truth, one of the greatest truths." He goes on to say, "Once we truly know that life is difficult, once we truly understand and accept it, then life is no longer difficult."
Why? Can you just expect it?
Well, I think so much of our suffering comes because we think life is supposed to be only beautiful and we think it's only supposed to go well. And then when it doesn't, it causes us so much suffering because it's not supposed to be this way. But what if life is difficult?
You just take it for what it is, and so there's no disappointments or surprises.
Right. Like there's going to be beautiful and terrible things. Don't be afraid. And, Jesus told us, the book of John, in this world you will have trouble, but take heart. I have overcome the world. So I love how all these go together. And I think when we're like, you know what, beautiful and terrible things happen. When the terrible things happen, it's like, okay, I'm not afraid. I know who's got me. You know who's got this. And then also there's beautiful things. So I thought, here's what I'd like to frame it. That every episode we start with, okay, what's your beautiful thing for the week and what's your terrible thing for the week? It doesn't have to be terrible, terrible, but and we could even frame it like, what's your tiny terrible? But just, I think when we live life like that, we're looking for the beautiful things. It's not hard for us to see the terrible. So, what was your beautiful thing this week?
The beautiful thing being able to go back to Detroit with a dear friend of mine and see a Detroit Lions game. I'm originally from Detroit, and it's always been something that I wanted to do for a long time. And my dear friend Bill, who's from Detroit as well, took me to a Lions game. So it was very sweet. I had an amazing time. How about you?
My beautiful thing, I got an email this past week from the director of the Epilepsy Foundation of Arizona.
Hmm.
Hard for me to say this. Their board nominates a Youth of the Year, and it's the youth has epilepsy who has impacted the community the most over the last year. They chose Reese Tensio
Hmm.
as their Youth Honoree of the Year.
What's epilepsy?
What is epilepsy? It's a seizure disorder, having seizures.
Reese dealt with seizures her whole life.
Her daughter Reese had seizures her whole life. And I loved that they chose her as the youth who impacted the community. And I think that makes me cry because it's like she did that. She impacted the community. She did it. It wasn't like, oh, yeah, your family. It was Reese. And it's like, yay. And I think when you have a child with disabilities, I felt like we spent so much of our life trying to convince people that she mattered and she deserved to take up space and she deserved to have a seat at the table. And sometimes she deserved to be here. And it was like,
That was justification. I mean, even though she never said a word, she made an impact.
she impacted the community.
An
It's
enormous
amazing.
impact.
That was beautiful. What was your terrible thing?
I mean, the terrible thing, I think because of what we do with Death to Life, we are exposed to a lot of people within our sphere of influence that are struggling with mental health. And with children with mental health when we get emails or text messages from friends that have children that are suicidal and that are struggling with their mental health. That sucks.
Yeah.
That really hurts. And we have an enormous amount of our heartaches for our friends and people in particular that are struggling with it. So that kind of hit me in
Yeah.
the last couple of weeks. We've had a couple of those kind of situations, and that's heavy.
Yeah.
How about you?
My terrible thing was I just had a really sad day yesterday. You might be like, well, you sound sad today, Carrie, you're crying. But actually, I'm not. I do cry a lot when I talk about Reese, but I feel better today. But yesterday just was like just a sad day. I just was like, man, I'm struggling. And why is that? I just took some time, like, God, what's going on? And I think it's just because it's October and Reese's birthday's coming up, and yeah, and it's just like, okay. And I just, you know what? I just am learning to just feel it, like sit in it, sit in the pain, sit in the sadness, and be like, okay, this is just reality and not push it down and just be okay. Like there's going to be hard days and I ended up going to bed early. Like I should go to bed and I'm sure tomorrow will be different. And it was. And I woke up and some of the heaviness was gone. So, beautiful and terrible, but I'm not afraid. Are you afraid?
Right on. I'm not afraid today.
Yay. So I want to talk today about,
What topic did we get from?
oh, we got a topic from a listener who said they wanted us to address how do I know when I need help with my mental health? How do I know when it's time for me to seek help? And that's a great question.
Great question.
What would you say first, Mark?
Well, I mean, we've been talking about it a lot, like signs. I mean, with us personally, I mean, you and I, we have a tendency to talk about mental health a lot because we're going through a lot personally. But we like what are some signs? What are some things that we should be concerned about? And you mentioned the other day, you mentioned a few things that I'm sure you're going to be talking about today. A couple signs that were kind of like, huh, I've experienced that. And one of them is, just not wanting to wake up when we were in the beginning of our journey with Reese, and I talked about it in our first podcast about how for the first time in my life, I thought about ending my life. I had thoughts of, man, I hope I just don't wake up. I hope I don't wake up. And I had those thoughts too days after uh Reese passed away. I had thoughts of, man, if I don't wake up tomorrow, I wouldn't mind it because I'd be with her. And I mentioned that to you and you said those thoughts are common, but it's not normal. And that was kind of kind of opened my eyes a little bit like, we shouldn't be having those thoughts. But it's understandable. I mean, especially if you've lost somebody that you've loved so much. Yeah.
Well, I think it's helpful to just understand human nature. Human nature avoids pain. Like, we don't have to be taught that. If you're walking in the street and a bus is coming toward you, you naturally are going to jump out of the well, that would be more of like the life preserving part of us, but we move away from pain and we also preserve our own life. So that is the struggle for somebody who's thinking about suicide is they're in so much pain.
Well,
And I think that's what you and I are describing. Lose a child, you're in so much pain. It's an indescribable pain. And so the thought, I'm okay if I don't wake up, like I think that makes sense. I think most people would understand that. But it is a cause for concern that okay, I'm not in a good place and I need to acknowledge it and tell somebody
have you ever felt that way?
have felt that way where I was like, I would be okay if I don't live up to it. And it's scary to be there because you know that's not a normal thought because you're kind of moving beyond like that natural human instinct to preserve your life. But it's also, I think, fairly common. I think people who've been in tremendous emotional distress, emotional pain, understand that feeling of like not intending to take their own life, but to just be like,
Well, and
so
I mean, we see it every day with people that reach out to us with Death2Life. I mean, it could be, I'm having a horrible, horrible day today, just life circumstances. I mean, you know, work sucks, school sucked, my relationships with my friends, my girlfriend, whoever it is. And sometimes you feel like, man, you know what? I'm in a dark place. I just hope I don't wake up tomorrow. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to lose somebody, but I mean, that's all part of the mental
right.
health.
beautiful thing about that is that those people are reaching out, and I refer to that as finding a way to stay alive.
Yeah.
So, like, it's that push and pull or that pull and pull where I'm in so much pain, I can't stand this, and also that human instinct to stay alive. We all have, like, the instinct, the life-preserving instinct. Sometimes some people feel like the pain is greater than the instinct to stay alive, they'll just throw it out there like, "Please, somebody help me stay alive." And that's a good thing. Like, if you are in a place where you are losing hope, like, I think the best thing to do is bring it into the light and tell somebody.
You said you're saying that it's much better to recognize how you're feeling and why you're feeling it and not run away from it,
Yes,
but
yes, acknowledge it.
acknowledge it. I heard, I'm probably going to butcher this, but I heard this on somebody's podcast, and they were talking about the differences between. I'm, I'm just going to absolutely destroy this, but I get the gist of it. The difference between cows and buffalo when storms come, and cows run away from every time they see storms. They run away from the storms, and the storms ultimately catch up to 'em. But buffalo noticed the storms and they continued to go. They continued to go through. It's like inevitable. It's coming and I'm not going to be afraid. I'm not going to run from these feelings that I'm having. These thoughts of that might be, scary, but I'm not going to push it down. I'm not going to be fearful and run away from it. No, I'm going to be like a freaking buffalo and I'm going to go towards the storm and I'm going to deal with it in a healthy way.
Well, and that makes me think of something that I'm learning, and I think you're learning too in our own grief. And that is to notice what's going on instead of avoiding what's going on. And the first thing is like I made a decision early on. Like I want to go all the way in on the grief. I want to feel it all. I'm going to process it all. I'm not stuffing this down. I'm not running.
But that was a process. I mean, that took a little bit. I mean, it wasn't like just all of a sudden.
No, but that was a conscious decision, and I read a ton of books, and I'm sure I read that along the way that, like, you can push it down, and you can pretend everything's okay, you can bypass the feelings, all those things, but there is a consequence to that, and, I talked to a good grief counselor about it, and she said, "In generations past, that's what you did. You shoved it down, and you just moved on. You shoved it down," she said, "and that's why we see so much alcoholism, substance abuse,
Health issues,
physical abuse,
heart
health
issues,
issues,
yeah,
heart issues, rage issues, because people have not processed their own
abuse, yeah, rage.
pain, their own grief." And I was like, she's like, "You do not want that. You want to feel it all, you want to process it all." And I was like, "I'm all in on that. Like I'm going in." And that means that we've had to feel some really, really horrible stuff.
Right.
But I think what I've learned is the power of my thoughts and just to like notice them. Like you said, notice the thoughts, notice the emotions and process them. Like the buffalo, like I'm not running away from it. I'm not bypassing it. I'm not shoving it down. I'm going to notice it and acknowledge it and name it and feel it and like take it to God. I do all this with God as my counselor in his presence. Like, we're in this together. I'm never alone in this. I'm in it with God and I'm in it with you. And we're feeling it together. And it's like, it has been the best thing. Like I get to choose my thoughts and I get to choose what I believe and I can feel the pain. And, you know, most of our fears, if not all, can really boil down to the fact that we don't believe we'll be able to handle the pain of it
Mm.
and the emotion. Like anything that we're really fearful of, it really boils down to I don't think I could handle that emotion and the way I feel about it. And the reality is, we can process any emotion with God and move through it and act out of a way that where we process that emotion, felt it. And just that we're way off topic.
No, but so what would you say if there's somebody listening right now that is kind of questioning, like, man, you know what? I've had those thoughts. I've been having some gnarly thoughts lately. What would you say are things are like some thoughts that should be a little concerning and that they should actually talk to somebody, either be us or at death2life.com? or, a friend, family member, doctor? When do you think they would probably be best if
Right.
they reached out to
Mm, Any
like,
thought,
what kind of thoughts?
anything on that spectrum from I don't want to wake up tomorrow, or even I'm okay if I don't wake up tomorrow. Obviously to the other end of the spectrum, like I have a plan and I have the means to take my own life. But that's a wide spectrum, but I think all of those deserve. Now, I want to go through this scale and I can give you like a measurable account of like how to know like what type of help you need, but I think if you're on the low end of that spectrum, tell somebody. Tell a counselor, tell a friend, tell somebody us. And I think it's great if you could find someone in your real life to tell who you can look in the eyes and say, I'm scared because I'm having this thought. And like, can you just be with me in it? They don't need to, get you to a doctor or call 911 if you're just but, I need you to know that, like, I'm gonna need some support.
Mm,
I'm struggling here. Well,
it's one of those
um,
things.
so this is a good scale, that you can ask yourself these questions, and at the end, if you say true to 15 or more of these, I would say you're in severe hopelessness and need immediate attention. If you say true to 9 to 14, that would be moderate. And then under 8 would be mild. And under 3 would be, just talk to a friend. But so let me run through some of these questions. This is from the Beck hopelessness scale. I look forward to the future with hope. I'm sorry. This would be if you said false to those. Okay. So I look forward to the future with hope and enthusiasm. True or false, Mark? Okay, good. So
How
let's
about
say you
you?
said false. Let's say you said false. So like add these up. If you have 15 or more, like I'm gonna suggest a few things. Okay. I might as well give up. Okay, wait a minute. This is off. Okay. I might as well give up because I can't make things better for myself. Obviously, these aren't all false. I'm sorry. Okay, but you guys get the gist.
Yeah.
I might as well give up because I can't make things better for myself. When things are
Give
going
up means ending your life.
Yeah. When things are going badly, I am helped by knowing they can't stay that way forever. That's such a healthy thought, guys. I hope you can adopt some of these thoughts. Like, things can't stay bad forever. That's
Yep.
just a good go to thought.
That's a very healthy.
I can't imagine what my life would be like in 10 years. That would
Mm.
be a hopeless thought. I have enough time to accomplish the things I most want to do. Love that thought too. I like to frame it like, I have enough time to do the most important
So
things.
I don't have enough life, basically, to do the
Well,
things.
no, just if you're feeling overwhelmed by life, you usually feel like, I don't have enough time for
Well, it
everything.
also says, though, too, it says that I have so much going on, so many amazing things going on that I don't have enough time.
Well, but I think the measure of hopelessness is when you are feeling overwhelmed by life, like you can't get it all done.
Right.
But I like to choose the thought, I have enough time to do the things that are most important. I just like that thought.
Mm.
My future seems dark to me. See your hopeless thought. I expect to get more good things in life than the average person. I just don't get the breaks, and there's no reason to believe that I will in the future. My past experiences have prepared me well for the future. All I can see ahead of me is unpleasantness rather than pleasantness. I don't expect to get what I really want. When I look ahead to the future, I expect I will be happier than I am now. Love that thought. Things just won't work out the way I want them to. I have great faith in the future. I never get what I want, so it's foolish to want anything. It is very unlikely that I will get any real satisfaction in the future. The future seems vague and uncertain to me. I can look forward to more good times than bad times. There's no use in really trying to get something I want because I probably won't get it. Okay, so was that 20? Yeah, obviously. Oh, okay. So false for 1, 3, 5, 6, 8. Okay, guys.
So if any of those, the negative ones,
So if you had 15 to 20 of the hopeless responses, and I'm sure you can tell which are hopeless, then I would consider that severe hopelessness.
then what should you do?
And I would say seek immediate attention. And
That doesn't necessarily mean call 911.
no, but for me, that means like immediate attention. What does that mean to you, Mark? I'll give my opinion, but I want your.
It means I would share with you. I would share with you what I'm thinking. I would share with counselor. I would share with you know, my accountability people in my life that I trust.
Yeah, I would say that professional attention.
If you rank really high,
Yeah, if you're in that severe range. counselor.
You can reach out to us and we can help you find
Yeah.
somebody.
And I suggest having telling people in your life, absolutely, parent, if you're living at home, the person you trust the most, and have them help you. Because a lot of times when you're in that state, you don't have the best decision making ability on board. And so someone can help you to find those. But I think it's really important to interview the mental health provider, to find a like-minded professional because they're not all the same, and that's really important. But I just say that because don't ignore those thoughts and
Yeah, and the thing that we recommend the most is you need to tell somebody, because what happens is the things that you want to stay away from is creating the perfect storm. And when you push that stuff down, when you push those thoughts down, or you don't talk to anyone, basically what you're doing is you're just piling up in your heart, in your soul, all of the things that suck in life and that need to be processed.
and it feels so long. Huge factor.
Well, yeah, I mean, lonely. I mean, and then you get to that point where you're like, okay, you know what? It started with a year ago that I was okay with not waking up. And now, I mean, I haven't talked to anyone. Now it's like, okay, I want to buy a gun, or I want to put myself in a situation where I want to end my life. That's it. I mean, if you don't tell somebody, that's how gnarly you can get really, really quickly. And then the perfect storm hits. You have a breakup, you lose a job, whatever it is, and then since you haven't processed that, since you haven't talked to somebody about it, those are the times that you get really, really, it gets really scary about ending your life. So you have to be able to tell somebody, even in the beginning, even in the mildest, you have to tell somebody.
Huge points for telling the truth. The
Yeah.
truth will set you free. Tell the truth. Always bring it into the light.
Well, and if you have a mentality too, of, I'm the victim, I'm always the victim. Oh, woe was me. It's always, everybody is always against me.
You can hear that theme through the hopelessness scale
Yeah.
is a lot like all of those thoughts are chosen thoughts um, to choose to see things that way. And
Horrible.
sometimes it's hard when you're in the middle of it to recognize, oh, I'm choosing that thought.
Right.
Like things will never go right for me. Those are chosen thoughts. But it's hard when you're in the middle of it. So sometimes you need help. So somebody else can help you see
Right.
that you are the way you're seeing the world, the way you're choosing to think. So that's why I say, somebody who's professionally trained to deal with these kinds of thoughts.
So you could either, I mean, what would you recommend? Reaching out to us, I think if you have no idea what to do next, reach out to us and we can help you navigate through that. So email us at 411 at death2life.com, or go to our website, death2life.com, or text us D2L at 91627, and we can help you find resources within your community.
Okay. Well,
Right?
yeah, it sounds good. Just don't ignore when you are in a dark place and tell somebody and remove, say the word suicide. Say it to whoever you need to say it to and
Yeah,
don't
that's
be
powerful
afraid.
too.
Don't be afraid to tell people, but also if you notice somebody struggling in your life, don't be afraid to ask them. Ask them the S question. Saying the word suicide does not create more anxiety. It actually relieves people who are thinking about it because then they finally recognize they don't have to bring it up. They can tell somebody without having to bring up the whole conversation.
Exactly, and we'll talk about this in the future, and things that are kinda lies when it comes to suicide. Talking about suicide doesn't make suicide happen more.
No,
I mean,
makes it happen less.
it makes it happen less. So,
It
we'll
makes it
get that
happen
out.
less.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, great stuff, guys. We appreciate you listening. If you are struggling with your mental health, again, reach out to us at death2life.com, or text us at D2L 91627. Carrie, anything closing?
One more thing. So I wanted us to end every episode with a quote from the week that we love. Mari didn't come prepared today. That's okay. I'm going to end with mine that I thought was so great. It's Hans Urs von Balthasar.
Oh, yeah.
That guy said, "What you are is God's gift to you. What you become is your gift to God."
Well, guys, again, we appreciate you big time listening, and we look forward to talking with you next time.
Huge fact.
Well, yeah, I mean, lonely. I mean, and then you get to that point where you're like, okay, you know what? It started with a year ago that I was okay with not waking up. And now, I mean, I haven't talked to anyone. Now it's like, okay, I want to buy a gun or I want to put myself in a situation where I want to end my life. That's it. I mean, if you don't tell somebody, that's how gnarly you can get really, really quickly. And then the perfect storm hits. You have a breakup, you lose a job, whatever it is. And then since you haven't processed that, since you haven't talked to somebody about it, those are the times that you get really, really, it gets really scary about ending your life. So you have to be able to tell somebody, even in the beginning, even in the mildest, you have to tell somebody.
Huge reports for telling the truth. The
Yeah.
truth will set you free. Tell the truth. Always bring it into the light.
Well, and if you have a mentality too, of, I'm the victim, I'm always the victim. Oh, woe was me. It's always, everybody is always against me.
You can hear that theme through the hopelessness scale
Yeah.
is a lot like all of those thoughts are chosen thoughts. um, to choose to see things that way. And
Horrible.
sometimes it's hard when you're in the middle of it to recognize, oh, I'm choosing that thought.
Right.
Like things will never go right for me. Those are chosen thoughts. But it's hard when you're in the middle of it. So sometimes you need help. So somebody else can help you see
Right.
that you are the way you're seeing the world, the way you're choosing to think. So that's why I say, somebody who's professionally trained to deal with these kinds of thoughts.
So you could either, I mean, what would you recommend? Reaching out to us, I think if you don't have, if you have no idea what to do next, reach out to us and we can help you navigate through that. So email us at 411 at death2life.com or go to our website, death2life.com or text us D2L at 91627 and we can help you find resources within your community.
Okay. Well,
Right?
yeah, it sounds good. Just don't ignore. Don't ignore when you are in a dark place and tell somebody and remove, say the word suicide. Say it to whoever you need to say it to and
Yeah,
don't
that's
be
powerful
afraid.
too.
Don't be afraid to tell people, but also if you notice somebody struggling in your life, don't be afraid to ask them. Ask them the S question. Saying the word suicide does not create more anxiety. It actually relieves people who are thinking about it because then they finally recognize they don't have to bring it up. They can tell somebody without having to bring up the whole conversation.
Exactly, and we'll talk about this in the future, and things that are kinda lies when it comes to suicide. Talking about suicide doesn't make suicide happen more.
No,
I mean,
makes it happen less.
it makes it happen less. So,
It
we'll
makes it
get that
happen
out.
less.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, great stuff, guys, we appreciate you listening. If you are struggling with your mental health, again, reach out to us at death2life.com or text us at D2L 91627. Carrie, anything closing?
One more thing. So I wanted us to end every episode with a quote from the week that we love. Mari didn't come prepared today. That's okay. I'm going to end with mine that I thought was so great. It's Hans Urs von Balthasar.
Oh, yeah.
That guy said, "What you are is God's gift to you. What you become is your gift to God."
Well, guys, again, we appreciate you big time listening, and we look forward to talking with you next time.
Empty streets with neon glow, a fractured mind with nowhere to go. But in the cracks where darkness reigns, a spark ignites to break the chains.